Welcome to Cabby O'Neill Gymnasium. Today, the Jasper Wildcats are taking on the Heritage Hills Patriots in a Saturday afternoon game. The Wildcats come into this game 12-4 on the season, and the Patriots are 14-3. Hello, everybody. I'm Craig Schneider, and we'll have Jason Stamm here shortly, and Jeremy Marcos on the video. But right now, we have got the legendary Dave Slick Weber, 1972 graduate of Jasper High School, right?
I don't know about the legendary part, but go on.
What are you talking about? That's what we're going to be honoring you guys. What we're honoring today, and this is great that we're playing at Cabby O'Neill Gymnasium because, of course, all these teams played right here in this gym, but we're honoring the 70s dynasty, sectional dynasty, as the Herald put it in the paper this week, and it's a celebration of a sectional run of the Jasper Wildcats, and all those teams play their home games here, and Dave Slick Weber here talking to us today and going to give us a little perspective on his run. It's, of course, you were on those first two
71 and 72.
Right. So, again, the great thing about this is that it just kind of brings the Wildcats back into, the tradition of Jasper basketball, because I think it was 1962 maybe before you finally won a sectional again. So we had a 9-year run where we did not win any sectionals.
They did not win a sectional since 62, and the 1970 team, I'll bring them up. They were a great basketball team. We got upset in the afternoon game of the sectional, and then my junior year, we had guys like Wayne Bailey, who is just one of the greatest that ever played in Jasper's history, and Jim Winslow, Jim Van Nuys, myself, Kevin Manley, Al Sang, Tommy Nicholson, Mike Boniford. I can go on and on. We were a very, very deep team with a lot of talent, a lot of talent. And we went over that sectional knowing we were favored, and we had a hell of a record. We were probably 15-5 or something like that. And once the sectional started, it was pretty obvious that we were – we won probably all 3 games by 20, 25 points. So, that started, and that needed to be done. I mean,
that's the foundation for what was to come.
Because it's been so long. I mean, I'm a huge basketball fan, and I could not remember seeing Jasper win in a sectional. And I went to every sectional since I was 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
And to finally break that seal, as I call it, and knock that door down and win a sectional, I think it kind of helped the teams that followed, because there was Craig, I mean, there was a mystique about playing in the Huntingburg gym. You've heard those stories like, we go over there and to go over and dominate like we did, I think it, then my senior year we come back and we win again in a tighter sectional. I mean, we weren't as a dominating team as the 71 team was. We were good, don't get me wrong, but 71 was a really good team. And then, you go on that. Tom Berger hits a shot from the baseline, and then 75, oh, my God.
Oh, the triple overtime game, right.
75 was the greatest basketball game I ever saw, period. And I know it helps because Jasper won, but that was unbelievable. Mike Becker was unbelievable for Forest Park. And to be down what we were with whatever seconds to go, 14 seconds, we're down by 4, and jump ball. I mean, it was incredible. But anyway, get back, Wayne Bailey he should have been an Indiana All-Star to this day. I'll tell that to anybody. I'll tell that to Steve Lockmuller. I don't care. But he should have been an Indiana All-Star, and I thought he got kind of shafted. To use the correct word on radio or TV. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, one question I wanted to ask is in regards to the leadership of that basketball team. Obviously, you had Ed Schulteis. Rex May was the Ed Schulteis, the head coach. Rex was the assistant coach and all that. But talk about what Ed Schulteis really meant to you guys as a coach, but also as the person to lead this 5-sectional run.
Well, Ed had a calming aura around him. It's like Ed never got really too excited, but the combination of Rex and him was a good combination, because Ed was the head coach. Rex put a lot of input in, you know what I mean? And Rex would get on your butt a little bit.
Sure.
And Ed was more of the I don't want to say a father influence, but he was more of he was the head coach in charge of everything. And fortunately, once that run started, Jimmy Schulteis, these guys, and they knew what it took, and it just kind of fed off each other. And surprisingly to me, that it didn't go on for about another 2 or 3 more years because they had some good teams after that.
Right.
And it probably should have went on for about 7 or 8. I'm not bad-mouthing anybody here, but, we had talent. But, when you go to sectionals, Craig, you just never know.
Right.
It happens every year to somebody that, beat somebody by 20 points 2 weeks ago, and they turn around and get beat the first game of the second.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Does.
There's no rhyme or reason. It just happens. So, but Ed and Rex were, I've always told everybody that would listen to me that, we all had great coaching throughout our, from 7th grade on, whether you went to Holy Family or 10th Street, we always had good coaching. My freshman coach was Don Noblet. I mean, there you go. And then I moved up to JV. I got Rex May, and then for 2 years I got Ed and Rex.
Right.
You can't hardly beat that. That's pretty good stuff right there. So,
well,
we were very lucky.
Right. And the other thing, too, is that of those 5 sectional teams, 2 of them won regionals as well, right?
Yeah, my senior year, 72, we beat Lagodi in a hell of a basketball game. Fortunate enough to do that. And that broke a regional spell for about 10 years. They hadn't won a regional since '62.
Okay.
And then, or maybe whatever it adds up to be. And then the following year, Tommy Berger hit that shot in the sectional, and then they went over and won the regional. And Tommy's team, that '73 team, they went down to Evansville and they got beat by New Albany in a hell of a ball game by about 6 or 8 points. And New Albany went on to win the state. Now, we went down there in '72, and we got beat by Jeffersonville. And Jeffersonville was just a lot better ball club than we were. And they ended up going to the state and should have won the state. They lost the afternoon game in triple overtime. But, we were, when we won not to take anything away from the celebration today with the 5 sectionals, but the night we won the regional, oh, my goodness. This town exploded. I mean, I tell you what, that Washington gym was rocking. And I've always said that I could, once I started playing, the tip ball, I would never heard the fans or anything like that. You're just playing,
Right.
Well, I remember the final seconds of that Lagodi game. I tell you, I never heard. I mean, I could not hear. I mean, it was deafening.
Isn't that wild?
It was just unbelievable. And I think somebody told me one time that there were 8 lead changes in the 4th quarter alone in that Lagodi game. That's what kind of game it was. And it came down to whoever had the ball last was going to win that basketball game. Unfortunately, Tommy Nicholson took a charge, and I hit a couple of free throws. We ended up winning the ball game by a point. But that night was that was a lot of fun.
And so many people, you're about, I guess, 12 years older than me or so, and the thing is, we still had the Southridge sectional. It was just such a big thing, and painting our cars and all that. And I was one of the guys cheering in the crowd. But it was just, we went 4 years of not winning a sectional, and not even playing basketball myself. It still hurt that we didn't do that. So you're so fortunate to get that kind of experience.
I'm a fan too.
Right.
I used to. When I walked into that Huntingburg sectional gym, and my dad always got me tickets or whatever, like I said, from 9 on, I can still smell the popcorn. I can still taste that dill pickle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I could look across the way and see that green and white eye in the cheer block, back in the day when they did that, and all the noise. And, there was nothing like the Southridge sectional.
Right.
Nothing in the state, and it was something. And I remember bringing my 2 boys down here when they were about 8 and 7, 8 and 6, and I said, I want you guys to see a Huntingburg section. It was a Friday night game, and Jaspers was playing. And I walked around that gym for an hour and a half with my 2 kids, and I could not find a ticket.
Oh, boy.
And I could not find a ticket.
It's hard.
And I had to go across the street at that Brickyard Pizza or whatever it's called now, Brick Oven Pizza, and listen to it on the radio, and it broke my heart. I was like,
man, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it was fun times. I tell you what. It was just different then. I'm not different, but, people, that's what they did. They went to ball games. Friday night in this cabbie gym, it was packed. You couldn't find a seat. Loud. I remember getting beat by Lagodi my senior year, probably in December. And we got beat and we could never beat Lagodi. Just couldn't do it. They were really good. And we were down in that dressing room, and they had like 50 tickets up there. Up there in the corner somewhere above our dressing room.
Okay.
And I remember Ed Schulteis coming down there, and he goes, you hear that up there? And they're up there pounding their feet and just going crazy, these Lagodi fans. He goes, that's what it means to beat Jasper in this gymnasium.
Right.
And that's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable. It was a great atmosphere, Craig. Just
absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, and I tell you the other thing too, getting all these former players together. What's that mean to you to see everybody?
I tell you what. Last night we went out to the KSC. A bunch of us, about 20, 25 people showed up.
Yeah.
And swapping stories and telling stuff. And my class, we stayed real close. But hearing these others, Jerry Bird was there last night. Hell, he could talk 3 hours.
Oh yeah,
and tell
covered all those teams.
Yeah, and he knows not only that, but when he played and all that.
Right.
And it's just great seeing all those guys. And I'm so glad so many have made the effort. God dang, Wayne Bailey just walked in. There he is down there.
We're looking at his picture right here.
Yeah, him and Winslow. Yeah, Jimmy Winslow. I tell you what, those two guys right there, I was fortunate enough to play guard with him and my junior year. And I tell you what, that was a hell of a basketball team. But Wayne's probably, like I told you earlier, he was one of the best that ever come through here.
No question.
Yeah.
And then like Mike Leaguers, who was a long-time leading scorer. He was a sophomore, I think, your senior year,
He's
right?
a sophomore my senior year, and a lot of people don't know. In fact, I didn't know this, Greg. When we played in that regional, we played Friday night, Saturday night. It was a two-night regional. And I didn't realize this till years later. Somebody pointed it out to me, that the starting 5 for us played every second of that regional.
Wow.
Never substituted. And I was like, well, I don't know what that means. Obviously, we played a pretty lazy defense because nobody got in foul trouble.
Yeah, I guess so.
But every second. I remember Leaguey was sick as a dog. I mean, he had the flu, and he played every second of that. And I'm like, God dang it! And so I asked Rex May one time. I said,
everybody's waving to you.
I said, Rex, why did you guys do that? And he goes, Slick, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it.
That's true.
And I'm like, well, that makes sense.
That lineup obviously worked together and gelled real well.
Isn't that unbelievable, though? You don't hear that nowadays at all. The 5 people playing every second of a game, much less back-to-backers. But anyway, that's it.
And I'll tell you what, again, you guys had some outstanding players. And as I look down the all-time career scores, we see Dave Slick Weber over 600, close to 700 points. But I'll tell you, I heard if we had that three-point line, that would be a lot higher. We'd probably be close to 1,000, wouldn't we?
I don't know about 1,000, but there'd be a few more on there anyway. And me and Manley both. Kevin could shoot it too. I always tell the story when I come in this gym. There used to be some bleachers over there where Johnny Stom is sitting. And before practice, he'd always have us over there, Ed would, and Rex, and we'd sit there on the bench, and he'd be talking about, the game Friday night or Saturday night. And one of the first things he'd always say, you knew Ed, Ed would always look at the ceiling when he's talking because he's thinking. And he goes, I don't really think we need Weber and Manley coming down shooting 25-footers every time. I'd go, look, come on, man. We took maybe 7 or 8. It's not like today where they shoot threes like crazy.
I agree, yeah.
But I tell you what, if the three-point line would have been there, that would have been interesting. I'm sure we would have put up a lot more. Let's put it that way.
No question. But, I tell you what, it's just great to be able to celebrate that in a venue like this in Cabby O'Neill, and it's so wonderful that they're able to save this place. But, one thing I always talk about this place, remember, you used to have a drop ceiling.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, how was that a challenge for, especially a long-range shooter like you?
Well, it was high enough, so it wasn't so bad. Okay. But I tell you what, this gym looks better than it's ever had. They've done a wonderful job with it.
Unbelievable. Rick Bagley
Rick Bagley and all the Bernie Vogler and all those guys. They did a wonderful job. Terry Tucker, and I tell you, it's a great gym to shoot in. It's got great lines or whatever you're looking at. I don't know what it is, but you could really fill it up in this gym. And playing on these teams, my team in 72 and 71, we ran shit. We get that ball out and Weasel would be going. And, we were averaging 75, 77 points a game.
Wow.
I mean, that was fun.
Sure.
Jiminy Christmas, you were having fun.
Yeah.
And then, nowadays you go ball game and, the final scores are 42 to 37. You're like, what? Every possession is not that dear. I mean, maybe it is, but boy. And I know they play better defense than we do, and they're more athletic and all that. But I tell you what, man, that was a lot of fun putting up a 75 a night.
No question. And I tell you, and then we've also got a really good crowd to celebrate you guys. And, of course, we're playing a great opponent in Heritage Hills tonight.
It's a wonderful thing the boosters have done, and I'm so honored to be back. And I'm so glad it's so many guys are coming. So. Yeah, I can't wait to go back. And then, afterwards they're going out to the museum.
DuBois County Museum,
I hope a lot of people show up there because I love talking ball, whether it be 40 years ago, 80 years ago. I like hearing all that history about Jasper basketball. It's a special place. And I've always told people, you know, they said, what it was like when you won and all that. I said, I was so happy for the fans.
Right.
Jasper fans are just the best. I love Jasper fans. And I said I was so happy for the town of Jasper because they deserved one, and it's been so long.
Yeah.
And that's how they treated us. It was like, holy crap. You know, we won one finally after 9 or 10 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a special time. There's no question about it. In my life, anyway, it was really special. So.
All right. Well, hey, Slicks, thanks so much for sharing some memories with us. And this is great to see all you guys together
what,
again.
If you get me started, it's hard to stop.
I'm going to talk to you maybe at the museum afterwards.
Oh, absolutely.
So we'll get some more.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Go Cats.
Absolutely. Dave Slick Weber celebrating the 5-year sectional run from 1971-75. He played on 2 of those teams in 71 and 72, and just a great person to talk with when it comes to Jasper basketball. All right, so we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we'll be ready for the Wildcats against Heritage Hills here on 18 WJTS.